Tampa City Council is dismantling the Racial Reconciliation Committee, which was formed to help address the city's economic and racial divide.
We have two guests in-house today to discuss the city's decision and the impact it may have on the future of Tampa. Rooted in Progress starts right now.
Welcome on this Thursday morning. I'm your host, Terrence Middlebrooks. Welcome to Rooted in Progress.
Hello,
folks.
everybody.
Yes, it is Thursday again. It seems like it was just Thursday a week ago.
Yeah, my favorite day of the week. I told you.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun day. I'm looking forward to this show. Always looking forward to this podcast and sitting alongside you, Naisha.
Do you really?
Yeah, sometimes.
I know you miss DM.
Building up to this show is a little bumpy, but hey, it's live TV or live podcast. It's a live production. It's going to have some little stumbles and hiccups in here and there. But speaking of hiccups, let's talk about what's going on. What our topic is today.
Yeah, we're talking about the City of Tampa discontinuing the Racial Reconciliation Committee, a committee that was formed last year, and it came on the heels of our Rooted in Progress Black History Month special. So today we have Miss Yvette Lewis, the NAACP Hillsborough County Chapter President, and Chairwoman Connie Burton. Let's welcome them in, y'all.
Yes.
How y'all doing?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for this opportunity.
Of course, this ain't your first time, no, Miss Lewis.
Miss Yvette, you might be the longest running guest we've had on.
Yes, we started with you episode 1, and I think you've been there 4 times now.
Since then?
Hey, I'm just doing the work of the people, and I'm just blessed. Thank y'all for this. Like I say, for continuing to let us get our voice out and for let our voice to be heard.
Yeah, and just kind of give you guys a brief history of this committee, as well as the roots of Rooted in Progress started when we did our Black History Special in 2023. We had a panel discussion with Miss Yvette and Councilman Louis Vieira and Senator Driscoll. And one of the topics that was brought up was the Racial Reconciliation Committee. I know, Naisha, you said it was formed last year. It was formed, correction, it was formed, when was that formed, Miss Yvette?
In 2020.
In 2020, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that special led into a conversation that started the conversation as to where are we now with this committee and where the city is with the funding and all that. Since then, we brought on Councilman Vieira as well as Miss Yvette Lewis for our very first episode of Rooted in Progress to dive deeper into this and to keep the community informed as to where we are, as well as hold these politicians and those accountable to what they say they were going to do, right? 2 years ago. Well, no, a year ago when we launched Rooted in Progress. Mm-hmm. Here we are today talking about the dismantle of not just this committee, but other committees, of course, and the DEI programs across the country. Let's just dive right into this. Give us a little bit of background of this committee when it was formed back in 2020.
Go ahead, Ms. Burton.
Well, thank you for the invite. The document, Resolution 568, was adopted by the city council members in September of 2020. It was heavily discussed. Let me start off by saying it was a document that was formulated by the council. It is not one that the people took to the city council to recognize past harms that had been done to African people in the city of Tampa. But it was a collective reasoning of the city council members at that time that said that they was taking full responsibility for all of the deliberate and intentional acts of discrimination against all Black citizens in the city of Tampa. And for that reason, since 2020, the community has been working toward the council and the city to recognize not only, the document in itself, but establishing of a committee that could move forward the things that was outlined in the resolution so we can start seeing progressive progress as it relates to Black people.
Miss Yvette, you want to weigh in on that? You got a lot to say, I can tell.
She always do. Come on, give it to the people.
The thing is, you know, it's sad that we had to go to forcing them to formulate a committee or to have this document.
Correct.
You know, it doesn't take a blind eye or even a good eye to see the injustice that has been done to African American people in the city of Tampa. So for Tampa to really, city council at that time, to say, hey, we want to correct this wrong that had been done in the city of Tampa, I think it was a great idea. But, you know, moving forward, and we'll talk about it, how the city handled it, it really was very disappointing to me.
Yeah.
And I just want to say also that the document was written in 2020. Okay. It took legs, and then it went into full discussion and came alive around this time, you know, 2024. So the intention of writing it, you know, I can't examine what's in people's heart, you know, when they go to pen to pencil. But again, the community did not write it. It was the board that wrote it, then had it stamped and approved by the city clerk. So it became a live document. I don't know if they thought the community, the Black community, would read it, have some full understanding what was being omitted to, and then would put behind, you know, once we gain knowledge of this document, our list of demands. So I'm questioning their full intent as I now see the way in which the council is moving.
Wow. And so council, and we've talked to Vieira, and Yvette, you put some flame under his butt when he was here last, and he said that it's a whole council decision, but this dismantle or this discontinued happened without a vote. How does that work?
Well, I'm the chairperson of the committee, and so we had been kind of like in limbo because it was a very small timeline in which they wanted us to unravel all of the harm done to the African community. You know, they hired a consultant. The consultant, in my opinion, I don't know how he was approved, but sometimes you need to have people that's vested in the community so they can see the things that you're talking about, right? And they put a limited timeline of maybe 6 meetings. And then, you know, from the time that this city has been established, we're supposed to be able to unpack all of the harm within 6 meetings and then come up with resolutions and recommendations. That was a problem in itself. The selection of people that was brought to the committee, you know, all of the council members had the ability to, you know, select personnel from the community. And I don't believe, you know, from the first meeting that we had, some people had a real understanding as to why they was there. And so fast forward, now we're like running out of time because we're having to deal with 5 subject matters that has been very impactful to the Black community: housing, economic development, the history of our people, returning citizens, and youth opportunities. And so with all of that, you know, and without having city staff there to tell us what the city itself had done, it was kind of almost like diving into a haystack looking for a needle. Because if the city had did A, B, and C, then if we're there just regurgitating that, we're wasting time. So for me, you know, the slow walk of getting data, the information that the community was requesting was all, in my mind, deliberate and intentional, that we would run out of time given the short window that we did have to come up with recommendations.
So no one on city council sat in on a meeting to give you guys advice, or do you think the committee needed to be large, like more people on the committee staff? Like, what do you think? What exactly went wrong?
Well, we didn't have subject matter experts. So we are talking about housing. It would have been helpful to have the housing department head to be there.
Okay.
So we didn't have that personnel. You know, we had Louis Vieira would show up, but not to serve in the capacity of being able to answer those critical questions. And so, you know, from the time that the community started really, you know, and we're thankful for Yvette in NAACP for putting that fire up under Louis Vieira that went back and said, hey, well, we will formulate a committee. It has never been, in my opinion, good intention to ensure that we came away with a good resolution, that we would have good recommendations to forward. And so now we find ourselves without having written a full conclusive document that we can pass on to the council for recommendation, and then to get the letter from the city attorney saying that the committee has been abolished is kind of like another eye opener for me.
So let me take that back. Let's take it back a little bit. You said the committee was supposed to have addressed 5 major points that we're lacking: youth development, affordable housing, economic development, resimulation of after prisons, and then history. And it was 2 or 3 more that you named. 2 things. What made you think, or why do you think that you didn't get that full support from the city? And then number 2, with some of these topics, economic development of affordable housing, as you've watched our series over the past maybe 6-7 weeks, we've had the District 5 candidates come on. Those were some of the topics that we discussed as to what District 5 and other districts struggle with: economic development, affordable housing. Those were the 2 major concerns. So with that, how hard did you press to just the city council folks to really address this, as well as during these candidate races? Was that something that you guys pushed as well?
Well, there has been an ongoing demand every city council meeting that the issues of poor working class Black people get addressed in the city's agenda. You know, every week to the day, the council will be making huge financial considerations around some of these key issues. And the missing piece for most Black people is that we are excluded. So if they're talking about housing, and even if they're talking about it in District 5, they're talking about houses that most working class people cannot afford, a $750,000 house. And so the appeal has been collectively speaking to the council, individually talking to council members, going through our national organizations, saying these are the issues that the community is concerned with, that has almost fell on deaf ear. And let me just say this. This document was submitted to the council and the community during the hype of, not the hype, that's the wrong word, during the murder of George Floyd. And so a lot of cities felt a need to reckon with some of these issues that Black folks have been complaining about for generations. And so, again, I don't know what was in their hearts and minds when they wrote it, but I know we read it. And once we read it, we recognized what we had. We had an admission from the city that harm had been done to Black folks, and we come to collect the revenue for repairing the damage.
So going back to my first question, why do you think there was lack of support?
I don't think people really intended for us to push it to this level, because it was written in 2020. What took the city, if the intention of the council was pure, it wouldn't have been an outcry from the community to formulate a committee. You wrote the document. You admitted that these things had occurred. And so for me, it's just almost like a parent offering an award to a sibling. You do your chores, this is what you're going to get, right? Mm-hmm. So it should not have taken 4 years for the NAACP president to catch Louis Vieira doing a Black History segment and say, okay, well, I'll go back and see if I can get the committee started. And that's exactly how it happened. So 4 years was dormant that the council did not act on its own written document.
Wow.
Yeah. Miss Yvette?
So, Miss Yvette, you said when we caught up with you, I think we spoke with you with Daryl Heitch. Sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, a couple months ago. And we were talking about the resources, sorry, I'm talking too fast. We spoke about how there is limited resources. What resources were you hoping to see from at that moment being implemented or helping this committee?
So first of all, I have to say this. In the year 2025, it is sad that we are continuing to have this conversation around the needs of African American people here in the city of Tampa, the wants of African American people here in the city of Tampa, the respect that African American people are receiving here in the city of Tampa, the quality of life that African American people are receiving here in the city of Tampa. So I am deeply taken back that we are still having this conversation. One, you talked about the resources. One, we should have never even gotten to the point of having that document because it should have been already given on the thoughts of people's minds. So we got the document now. Let's act on it and let's do it. If they had the right intentions on doing what they was going to do, it should have been done. It should have never gotten to the point where you needed a piece of paper to do it. It should have been done. You know all of this. And you talked about District 5. All the candidates that have come to me and sat down in my office and had a conversation with me, and that we all talked about the needs of District 5. So my thing is, everybody says the same thing that's running for office. Transportation, affordable housing, economic drive, all of this, better schools, light on crime. Everybody says the same thing, but I don't see anyone doing anything. And so what gets me is, the city of Tampa is a diverse city. The city of Tampa Bay, this thing could get done if they wanted to get done. There are projects right now going on with the city of Tampa that I know they're going to get done without the aid of federal dollars, state dollars, however dollars. If they wanted to get done, it can get done. So it's sad in the year of 2025 that we are having this conversation, because you would think this would be literally a black eye on the city of Tampa to say, we want to fix what's right. And we want to fix what happened in the past. We want to right some of these wrongs and we want to move forward. That's what I'm thinking that they would do. But I guess in my mind, that's how I think. But unfortunately, our elected officials are not thinking the same thing. Our elected officials are not even concerned, you would think, of the betterment of black folks. And I have to say that. And it hurts my heart to say that, because we are human. We are people too, Yes. You cut us, we bleed blood. That I do know.
Yeah, well, exactly, and you know, you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. Is that why is this discussion? We're still having this discussion in 2025, and why is this? There is such thing as this Racial Reconciliation Committee, and I think it kind of stemmed back from situation. Was it George Floyd?
Yes,
and all of that, and oh man, it's heartbreaking that we are even having this podcast about this topic, and it's heartbreaking the fact that you're just looking to be equal.
That is just be heard and to be seen.
Equality as well as accountability. I think those are the two major concerns that we lack.
Yeah, I guess, Terrence, let's be real. The city of Tampa knows they got hit by the Department of Justice for the biking while black. Okay, they know that African American people were targeted just for riding a bicycle, and then they also got hit by by the NAACP and several other organizations for renting while black. Okay, so the scales of justice is, we all know, it's not equal. So you would think, you would want it to be, so everybody can have an opportunity to live a better life here in the city of Tampa. Born and raised in the city of Tampa, this is all I know.
Yeah.
So this is my city. This city holds my history. But I also have seen the injustice that goes on with my people. And then I've also seen this, and it's very disturbing how this city will say cold words. Well, that's not what all of them want, or some of them here, or we've talked to a few, or all of this here. So if you see the needs, you can ride down the streets. But the problem, like I say, I have with the city of Tampa, they continue to tell us what's best for us to eat. And I have to say this, that's a slave man's mentality.
So what do you mean by eat?
A slave master's mentality.
What do you mean by eat? Like they continue to tell us what to eat.
They know that it's best for us, that we're going to build these homes that you cannot afford, that we're going to integrate your community, that we're going to gentrify your community, we're going to disperse people out of the community, which is our village that holds us together. We're going to tell you what books you need to read. We're going to tell you what roads you need to ride down. We're going to tell you how to ride that bicycle. We're going to tell you who can live in your home. Right. We're going to tell you. So they continue to tell us what's best for us instead of giving us an opportunity to speak for ourselves.
How much of this do you push? I mean, did you? Well, let me back that up. Again, going back to District 5 candidate, all of the forums that they had. Did you guys show up and did you? Let me bring you in, Ms. Connie. Did you guys show up and did you guys press these questions to these future council folks, candidates?
So that was a huge field, but I could tell you that from the moment that document got into my hand, I have personally ran off thousands of copies. I have mailed them out to what I consider to be the leadership, black leadership of this city. I've given them to ministers, and it was brought up during the various political forums. Some of the candidates said that it had no teeth, they wouldn't touch it, they didn't want to look at it. But here's the point. We are not talking about what is happening in present day. We're talking about things that have created black folks or prevented black folks from being able to develop generational wealth. We're talking about redlining. We're talking about the miseducation of our children. Why would, if one of those components of the committee be dealing with returning citizens? Here in Hillsborough County, we was number one in the nation, the whole United States, little old Hillsborough County, number one in the nation in adjudicating juveniles to the adult system. So that was been a long-going trend. So this thing has had impact, negative impact against this generation and future generation when people cannot become gainfully employed. Then they have to be dependent upon social systems. When our children don't see the value of going to school because they don't see how that in itself have helped us as a whole, as a people. We're not talking about individuals. We're talking about as a community and people. So this resolution had the ability to be a blueprint, a model, that if Tampa could do it,
correct.
If Tampa could do it,
other cities can follow.
Other cities could do it, because you find the black community and you're gonna find the same identical marks. People living below poverty level, needing social service. Children still don't have a clear vision on where they want to move in life. So to see the city now saying it's something that they cannot do based on something that they receive back from the federal government, I find it very, I'm using nice words here, but this city has a $1.9 billion budget. Everybody.
Let's pause right there, guys. We got to take a quick break and we'll come back and we're going to talk about where do we go from here. We'll be right back. We're back here in the WFLA Stream Center with our show Rooted in Progress. I'm your host, Terrence Middlebrooks, alongside with Naisha Harper. And we got some heavy hitters in the building right now, guys, if you're just now tuning in. So welcome back.
Welcome back. Miss Connie Burton was talking about the city's budget before we took our quick break. So let's resume
So
on
the
that.
letter said something about the federal monies being, if they continue, how they can be, sanctioned, cut, or whatever. Federal money comes down in a variety of pockets, right? And so the committee was not talking about dealing with any grant money. Those are designated funds, right? But this city has a $1.9 billion budget. That's a B all day long. And that includes a combination of everybody's money in that pot. For people to be able to say in every campaign run, including this mayor, that they could recognize harm, hurt, they could see disparities that exist in certain pockets of this city, to give that as a reason why they can't move forward is very hypocritical. It's very suspect. It tells me personally that this administration has no intention of turning the wheel in which we could lift all boats, that people would have opportunity, that young people would have opportunities. Monies that they get through grants, that's a given. The census tract tell the federal government how much money to send back to a particular city. But we have CRA funds, community redevelopment funds, that if the city administration was willing to take on these issues inside of black communities, those funds could be utilized to do a variety of model programs that would lift the community, lift those at the bottom up. We can build houses that are truly affordable to the community. We would be able to identify programs that can help our youth. One thing, we asked the city for the last 3 years to give our young people summer job experience. They could only come up with a number of maybe helping 32 black youth out of this whole city of Tampa. no creative ideas how they can get business partners or various institutions to buy into the concept so we can have less recidivism. So we won't see our young people go from, juvenile to the adult system. But it has been this continual practice that, hands off, the city takes no responsibility. And so what happens to the community? And so we're beginning to get ready to hear this same rhetorical rhetoric because there would be somebody running for the mayor. We see how the baton is being potentially switched back to, say, maybe some old hands. Mm-hmm. But like Yvette laid out, this city has been responsible for damage, riding while black, walking while black, putting in boundaries certain black communities where black people crimes would have only been misdemeanors, but because they lived in poverty-ridden areas, they was able to escalate those charges from misdemeanor to felony. So we got a whole slew of young people and older men in our community that have felony charges that they would even consider even stopping, young people in the Bayshore area or up by USF to even have a conversation with them. So now we have all of this luggage in our community, and now the city takes this position, there's nothing we can do.
Wow.
What do you say to those people who say money's not the issue?
Yes, someone in the comments says money doesn't solve your problems.
Well, it might not solve all of the problems, but I can't even imagine going to a grocery store and I ain't got money. I could be hungry all day long, but if I ain't got money, ain't no sense in going to the store. So, no, money is not going to solve every problem, but it's a big lift toward where we need to get. Because I believe that if we can incentivize our young people toward economic opportunity, which is money all day long, then we can discount the fact that maybe they would be going to Falcon jail. If we're able to build sustainable houses in our community without the thoughts of developers first, then maybe people in our community is not interested in a 35 square foot house. That if they can get something
just to get by
with dignity,
yes,
with dignity, we would be good. Mm-hmm. But you know what the city does? And I'm gonna give it to Yvette after this. Because we have such pressing needs in our community, and they all know it. Mm-hmm. The city has been very, in this administration and past administration as well, to find nonprofits in our community to give them tons of money that, even though they might be brown and black leadership in those nonprofits, they're able to give them dollars. They're able to give them lots, infill lots. They're able to give them money to start their development. And so they don't be on the side of echoing the real issues of the problem because they are getting taken care of. Mm-hmm. So we have individual black folks, individual black organization that is getting taken care of while the masses of black people is still not. So that 568 talked about all black people.
So let me just jump in here. All right.
Because I could take your show now.
Well, listen, we got a lot more time to fill. So the City of Tampa, this letter was sent out last week from the city attorney, Andrea Zellman, stating the fact of as to why the committee will be dismantled. And it's based really on the federal funding.
Yes.
So they're afraid that they're going to lose their federal funding, which is FEMA. What else? There's a list of other housing, HUD, affordable housing, community development, block grants.
Yeah.
So it's basically what the city is saying. Like because of this, not one committee, but this small committee, mm-hmm. and because of what's came down from the federal level, mm-hmm. we could jeopardize far more families, communities, people, other than what we're not receiving at this moment. And basically is the question is, and forgive me if I'm being this devil's advocate, because of what's been done from a federal level, should we be angry at the city of Tampa at this point today? Because before I went to break, I said, let's talk about going forward today. I understand your frustration for over the past, 5 years, nothing's been done, and you guys have been pushing and meeting, and nothing's been done from the city. But at this point right here, to dismantle this committee from the federal level, should we put most of our anger towards the city?
Before they wrote that letter from the federal government, I can't put my hand on nothing that the city has done that has been a lift from the bottom up.
Yeah. And trust me, I understand exactly where you're coming from.
If they can't touch the federal money, again, the city has a $1.9 billion budget.
Yeah.
And so if they didn't never go and say, feds, you ain't got nothing to do with this, we take our responsibility to deal with this. We have CRAs that talks about eliminating blight in our community. Those are targeted dollars to deal with inside communities of poverty. The programs could be written in ways in which developers don't get the biggest piece of the pie of that. So it's ways in which the city can operate if they so afraid that the feds finna come down and lynch them or whatever they might do, handcuff them financially. Then don't touch the federal money. But then don't tell us that state funding that is already designated for blighted communities, and then with your $1.9 billion that you can't do anything to move this community forward that will address, don't even say Resolution 568. Say some of the things that you've said when you're out campaigning and show us that you're turning the wheel that will lift communities and people that have been adversely affected.
Yeah.
So, Terrence, this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. Yes, the federal government has stated this, but again, this is the year 2025. All of this should have been done before the federal government even said anything, because they should have already wanted to right this wrong if they wanted to. They can do. I have watched city council from afar, from close, on TV, down at city council meetings. They can do whatever they choose to do. It's up to them. And they can word things whatever they want to craft and draft these words to say. They can write up however they want to write things to make it come out and to look right if they wanted to. That's the thing. We all know how the Hard Rock got here. It was because they discovered an Indian burial when they was building a garage downtown. And what the city did was did a land swap and gave the Indians some land off Orient Road. Now, this is what the city can do. Give the people, when I say the people, give us back our land, give us our property, our homes. In East Tampa, there's so much property that's over there. Why are you giving it to major developers? Why are you giving it to the nonprofit? Back then, they gave that land back to the people. Give the land back to the people. Let them build on their land and let them build houses or, what they want. They can do whatever they want. We can take federal government out of this. I've seen the city hold boom on the bay. I've seen this city hold many functions that they find developers, funders, or however to fund this. So we can take money off the table, but give us back our land.
Well,
how about that?
It comes down to, like you said, development. Make sure that you are opening those opportunities up for other developers, not just somebody you're friends with or you've done business with.
There you go.
And make it a fair shot, a clear, fair shot at not just the development, but everything. Man, I don't want to put my personal opinion on this because of the fact that
it is personal.
But I do understand where you're coming from, and we have to report on the fact that this committee was there just to make sure that there was equality. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
right?
You're right. You're right.
Equality
In the city of Tampa Bay.
Yes. Yes. And this is a fight that's happening all over this country. So I get your frustration. I do, and I just, man, I'm baffled as we dive into this. Every day I turn on the news, it just blows my mind as to ask myself, like, man, are we in 2025 or are we like in a time warp somewhere?
Well, it looked like we walked back to almost 1865, and some people don't want to take recognition that we are part of a conglomerate. We're in this boat together. And so while some people might not live in District 5, what they're seeing now, just based on the rhetoric, everything is being knocked on everybody's door. And just because this administration is saying that they won't and they dissolve the committee, don't mean we're going to be silent. Don't mean that we're going to stop our work. It don't mean that we're not going to continue to educate the community. We are still doing it. We are hoping that some of the board members that was appointed will continue on so we can write a resolution. If it was, again, something that we had thrown into their faces and say, this is what I know you did to me. No. Council, city government, approved by the city legal team before it was made a public document. You indicated the past harms that you done to us. Yeah. And so as a reader, I took that information and say, you know what? It is our responsibility to tell you the corrections that's needed. It is not you.
Okay, let's pause right there real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, Ms. Burton. Let's go to a break right quick. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Guys, we're back in here with the WFLA Stream Center with Rooted in Progress. Again, I'm your host, Terrence Middlebrooks. We are with Naisha Harper, Miss Yvette Lewis, and Miss Carolyn Burton, talking about this dismantle of the Racial Reconciliation Committee.
So what's next?
Yeah, that's going to be my next question. Where do you go from here?
Well, as the chairwoman of the committee, of course, we are going to address the council, and I'm hoping that the committee members can stay the course, that we can continue to do the work.
Yeah.
Our work is aligned with the mission of the NAACP and many civil rights organizations that believes that opportunities should be afforded everyone.
Correct.
It is our responsibility to make sure that our children have a future. It is our responsibility to make sure that our people can live in dignity. It is our responsibility that as we see a city that has a $1.9 billion budget, that African businesses is afforded opportunities to participate. This city is growing. We just read about a big old Ferris wheel that might come down to downtown area. There's no way that you can drive within the city boundaries and you don't see a hand of development. So we have to say, to what level are we being afforded the opportunities to participate? And so that is our task. We believe that the next generation don't have to continue the same fights. So the call for all to participate, all hands in, we are all in. We understand that if not now, then when. So that would be our move, to just continue to move forward.
What about you, Miss Yvette?
Well, the NAACP has been around since 1909, and I just really want you to know we're not going anywhere.
I know that's right.
We're going to stay out here on the forefront fighting and advocating for the people. And it is us that we believe that sometimes you just got to go from the bottom up, because going from the top down and hoping and praying that it trickles down, it is not working. So that concept is not. So the NAACP will definitely stay out there advocating, fighting, agitating, And if we got to bring in some litigation, we're going to have to bring that in as well. Because there comes a time when you can speak the words of Fannie Lou Hamer and say enough is enough. You know, where you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And we have to continue to stay on out there. Black folks, we're here for you. The City of Tampa, we hold everyone accountable. You know, you're dealing with the city, the county, the school district, law enforcement, everyone. That's what we're here for. So the NAACP, we ain't going nowhere.
So how can people in the community help the fight? How?
Well, I would say, first of all, pull down the resolution. Take your time to read it, digest it, to see who they're talking about. Again, they was talking about harm, damage that was done to a particular group of people. Flip the document over and you will see that it was signed by some members of the council now. And then ask yourself, how do I hold them accountable as I plan out a future for the next generation?
That's beautifully said, because I'm part of that next generation.
Yes,
and I want to be involved, because in looking at these comments, and I'm not going to address some of them, but a lot of people are saying they try to throw out this DEI, you guys have a low IQ, this panel is divisive. This podcast started for our people, to have a voice for our people, because our voice is not otherwise said as it's supposed to be said. This can be just a quick 20-second update in one of our newscasts, which I am a producer of, and that's it. And then it goes away. But we are here to keep these conversations going, inform people how they can get involved.
Yeah, and I think, you know, to your point, you know, I have a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old, and going forward, just not allow this type of fight to be swept under the rug. Again, I said it twice. I may have said it 3 times, but all that any person of color is seeking is equality, fairness, accountability.
That's all we want.
That's it. I like Miss Yvette said, you cut me open, I bleed blue, I bleed red. You know, I and that's just it. Don't now let me pause that right there.
Well, I'll
guys,
tell you,
listen, I'm gonna tell y'all
if
what.
our fight hurts you and if it agitates you, get uncomfortable.
But going back to what you said is, you know, with the people in our comments are, you got good, you got bad. I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate you taking the time out to log on and just listen. For those that's probably tuned in, that's just boiling right now. Thank you. You know, we want to know, you know, that's kind of fueling our fire to continue this fight. And this fight is not over with.
Yeah.
It's not
and
over
thank
with.
y'all.
Yes.
And also, too, we didn't mention DEI. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm not asking for government assistance. I'm just asking for equality.
Right.
And that's what everybody else is asking, the same thing.
Well, bless you all so much. Thank you all for taking the time to come in. Miss Yvette, you know it's always a joy to have you in. Because we know if you're going to do anything,
you're going to stand for the people.
It may not show up on time, but you're going to stand, you're going to do it. You're going to speak your mind, and we love you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And nice meeting you, Miss Connie.
Miss Connie, thank you so much as well. So, Naisha, this has been another great episode. Tell folks how they could tune in and watch.
You can go back and watch this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you have the WFLA app for your smart TV, watch it there. If not, it's available on Apple, Samsung, and Fire TV. There we go. I'm going to get it right one day, Terrence.
I told you to write it down.
No. Got to do it for the brain.
You won't listen. I know this is kind of still new to you. So this side of the camera is new to you.
Can we just end this on a nice note, Terrence?
Yes. Guys, everyone have a great rest of your day. And thanks for the love. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Rooted in Progress, y'all.
We'll see you next week. Stay
next
rooted.
Thursday, 9:30. Stay rooted.